Welcome, guys. This is a reaction video to the news we've heard about Telkom. With me, I have George Juguna, who's the founder of Hockey Kenya and also the CEO of Bloom Radio. Karibu Juguna.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and then with me, I also have the man with two names, Juma Juma, who's
Yes.
one of the founding members of Magongo Kenya, and he's also a chief photographer there. So, Karibu sana.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, guys, I know we've already seen the news. It came out in the morning. There were rumors about it. Now it's confirmed. Telkom Kenya have pulled out their sponsorship from Telkom Ladies Hockey Club. Big news. I'm still in shock. I can't still believe that it has happened. So, what do you think, guys? Let's start with Chugush. What's your reaction to this?
It's a very sad news, I must say, for me, because it's over 20 years that Telkom has sponsored this. That Telkom Kenya has sponsored Telkom Ladies. Of course,
Yeah.
it has the company itself has had many names, but through and through they've always been called Telkom. So it's a very huge blow. I can try to imagine after the exit of coach, keep forgetting his name.
Openda.
Yes, Openda. It's and then now this when they are just going through a transition of the new team, the new technical team.
Yeah.
So it's another huge blow for them. Yes, that's how I'd put it.
Okay. Juma, what's your view?
Yeah, just to reiterate what Mr. Njuguna has said, of course, it is Telkom being an anchor sponsor for the sport, and losing such an anchor sponsor, of course, it's a big loss to the sport generally. It's also a huge loss to the team. I'm sure the ladies are now trying to look around, maybe discouraged as a team, because I'm sure there are a couple of players that have been depending on the team to run their things here and there, maybe pay bills. So it's a huge loss to the sport, and maybe a huge call up to each one of us on essentially what we're supposed to do to now looking into the future. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm yet to understand what really happened for Telkom to pull out. We've all read the press release, and to me it's not quite clear why they've withdrawn their sponsorship. Njugush, what do you think?
It's a common language or lingo, if I can put it. That's how they always try and put out when they're trying to do this. But as you know, it's been a hard time for businesses, and especially in the telecom business. Safaricom has really dominated the game for a very, very long time. So getting to see sponsors to not a surprise to me, because it's been a hard season. The last 2 years have really been hard. I'm sure all of us, in one way or another, do business, and it's not been easy even for you to get businesses. So this is not quote unquote a surprise, and them pulling out was just a matter of, I would say, time. Because they've just undergone a restructuring. Someone else has bought the company. Now it's under a Kenyan, Mr. Mugo Kibati. So it's and I'm sure it's not just, it was a painful decision from them, because I could read from the tone of that letter, they were it was very, very hard to make that decision for them. So and the good thing is, I think they have underlined that they still want to sponsor the team in a way. So let's wait and see what they have in store for them.
Yeah, true. Juma, you also went through the press release. Yeah. What's your reaction?
Yeah, not a surprise. Just looking at, I was just doing some research today on companies that have gone through the same process in terms of either a merger or an amalgamation. It happened, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. two big insurance companies in the country underwent the same process of merging.
Yeah.
And when a merger happens, both the players, especially the dominant partner, will come with their own set of rules and just the way they want their things to be done.
Yeah.
So I'm sure in this there must have been one dominant partner between now Telkom and Airtel.
Yeah.
And the way things are moving, you will tend to look at it from the perspective that Airtel was the big player, looking at their asset base, looking at the asset base and their market share in Kenya. So they must have been the one domineering in the discussion around what is the strategy. Looking at how Telkom were doing things and how they were doing things, of course they will want to have a bigger say in the way things will be run looking forward. So just pulling some experience from what I've done today on the insurance company's case. It was just now a business case. Is there a value proposition for doing maybe sponsorship for the sport, for example? Like in this insurance case, it was doing a sponsorship for Lewa Marathon. So I'm sure the dominant partner asked now the between the two of them, was there a value to continue sponsoring the team? So I'm sure when they had that discussion, that is now from that perspective, it's just about, are we getting value for money? Is it part of our strategy moving forward? And if it's not, then from a corporate perspective, it will be wise to just maybe pull away from the sponsorship deal.
True. Yes, Jugosh.
I just wanted to ask a question to the both of you. I know we've all actively played this sport, all of us. I keep wondering if this cycle will ever break, because we keep going round and round by it. Let's remember a team like Eaglets. Back in the 90s, early 2000s, folded around 2005 or 4, thereabout. And it's never come back. Barclays have come back, but they have never come back. So I don't know. How are we going to go around this?
I'm not sure, because even if you remember, we had breweries as well. Even though it split and became two other clubs. I think 2 years ago or 1 year ago, Chase Bank also withdrew their sponsorship. So I think and we've all had this discussion, the cycle cannot end, because hockey is not as lucrative, hockey is not as marketable, hockey is not as popular in the country. I mean Kenyan hockey. The problem we have is that and I keep saying this, we all take hockey as a part-time gig. You find even the most guys who have been elected in the union work at hockey, Kenya Hockey Union, as a part-time gig. So there is not really that I'd say intense passion or enough time to really find the marketable side of the business. You also find that the clubs themselves also don't take up the role to market themselves. Like last night we were having that discussion with you guys about how clubs are not using social media to market their side of things. They are also struggling also to finance themselves, to find sponsors. Also, something else we need to really understand is that even ourselves, the three, we'd say companies, that is Hockey Kenya, Magongo, and HockeyKE, we only came into action a few years back. So also as a country, I work in the IT field. I can tell you, even as a country, it's now time we are starting to embrace all this social media stuff and things. So we are a long way behind in terms of the marketing side of the sport, and we all need to collaborate to make sure it happens, and it's everyone. Make sure the clubs Kenya Hockey Union themselves, they do have a communication wing, and also ourselves. So unless we make this sport popular, this cycle will never end, because we do know that the ROI, return on investment, is not as much, because yet again, the sport is not popular.
But just to chip in, on the conversation, the problem, I think the biggest problem we have had now from the sponsorship side is the potential sponsors or sponsors looking at supporting sport as a corporate social responsibility, as opposed to looking at it as like part of a marketing strategy. Look at there's one advert that is running currently on social media, done by one Eric Omondi for a milking company. Look at the traction that advert has received online, vis-a-vis mainstream advertisements that you are seeing running on television.
Yeah.
Now, you see, the problem is, if today you approach a company to do maybe a sponsorship for hockey or any other sport, they'll be asking you, what value are we getting? In return? So they will maybe want to do a small contribution and come and invite press to take so many pictures and call it CSR, as opposed to calling it an investment in sport for purposes of maybe developing a marketing campaign for 5 years, 10 years. And you see, we have this problem because all of us jointly, we have not positioned this sport as a business. Let me put it in the business perspective. We haven't positioned this sport as a business. We are doing this for fun. HockeyKE is, I know you and your team are doing your things maybe just to have fun. Mr. Juguna is doing things maybe just to pull a small crowd, have a few subscribers here and there. We have not taken the business aspect of the sport, and that is still the problem that we have at the union. It is being run like more like a government non-profit making organization, which essentially shouldn't be the case, because we should be asking ourselves, how much in terms of resources have we put in as players, as media, as coaches, everyone, and how much in terms of return are we getting back? So that if I'm approaching a sponsor in terms of looking for value for them, I'll have a history. Look at TELKOM, for instance. They have a history of winning 21 trophies or
21 league titles and 10 continental titles.
21 league titles. Yes. Which sponsor wouldn't want to listen to that? That is huge history.
That's
yes.
So,
but gentlemen, let us be very honest. TELKOM has the best crop of players. So winning the title, and I think this year is the only year that they are really receiving a flag. In a very long time, probably it's because of the transition of Coach Openda. We are yet to know that, and that's a discussion for another day. But winning the titles, I think it reached a point, it was a high for them. They are up there. And there's no team that is coming to match them. The only closest team that used to come close to them was the Blue Eaglets, which died in the early 2000s. The ones I was just talking about earlier in the video. So it is again another thing that needs to happen. And here now I think we're getting into the solutions to this whole issue. Is it's not just at this marketing bit of it. It also boils down to, are we having the caliber of players that can make the game very competitively? For example, I am a journalist, and I know for sure, for a good story to be read or heard, apart from our sites, which mainly concentrate on hockey, the other sports, they would want to look at the big teams, the big boys.
Yeah.
Yes.
What time is Butali? That's the kind of story they want to put on the back page of the newspaper, not not the cutting that I think it was Simon described it as next to
Yeah, the
obituary.
obituaries.
Yes, yes, yes.
So and Simon, you are a coach.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a challenge to you and probably even a question. You can choose to answer it or not. Do you think clubs are at that level where they can play competitively to attract sponsorships?
In all honesty, no. We are not at a level where we can say that our game is good enough to attract viewership. As at now, you can only name 4 or 5 clubs across 5 leagues, the 5 leagues that really play good hockey. The rest, yes, they are trying. Reason being, most clubs are feeder clubs to the big 5 clubs. So you find the big 5 will get the cream of the crop. And unfortunately, as a country, the cream of the crop is only a subset of the entire country, because you find most of the hockey is played in Nairobi. So you find that huge talent is locked out outside Nairobi. So we can't really see them until they come to Nairobi. So so the problem is not the clubs only. The problem is that the whole structure of hockey we have as a country, because we don't have academies, you don't have youth programs. You find that if Juma can even attest to this, even you Jungusha, I know you've watched a lot of high school hockey. There is talent there, massive talent.
True.
Yeah, and if you look at the team we took to Argentina, that's a very good team that we took there. It's just that probably the international exposure, the international pressure, they were unable to handle it. But if you look at how they played, that's a good team. Yeah.
Before Juma chips in, Simon, I think I beg to differ because I think the new structure of the league will make it competitively, but we need to find a solution, and it goes back to that debate we were talking about, looking at this game from a part-time kind of a game, because we need to make it more vibrant. Not a team that plays and then plays today and the next time they play is in a month's time, but because we are lacking pitches, and these are some of the things that we need, but because we need to push these games to other grounds, and this is now a challenge to probably the union. They need to do something about it, because right now I know of schools which have very good astroturfs. And also now the newly acquired is it Simba, who have a very, very good pitch. Has it? I don't know if it started being played on, but these are good options that we now have and we can take advantage of.
Yeah, in terms of the competition, it is there. All I'm talking about is in terms of the quality of players.
Okay.
You see, for example, look at the Premier League. How many quality players do you have?
You can count them. Yeah.
You can count them. Another example, look at the national team. We have to do call-ups, right? And these call-ups are done after trials. It's difficult for a coach to go and say, I'll handpick 30 players instead of doing tryouts and then doing call-ups. I'll just handpick this, and then I know from these 30 players I can comfortably pick 23, right? We've always had an issue with that. Yeah, look at the concentration of the teams. Where are they located? Yeah, most teams are in Nairobi. Why are they in Nairobi? Because development of hockey is mostly done in Nairobi, and it's done in Nairobi
Centered in
because
Nairobi, yes.
and it's the development of hockey, I mean development in terms of club hockey is done in Nairobi simply because most players come from universities. It is difficult to find a player coming from Western to play, for example, in a team like Green Sharks. Green Sharks basically pick a guy who's probably played for KU, for University of Nairobi, probably KCA. So all I mean is, yes, the competition is there, but the problem is, and we all know this, the league will come down, be the same. Like, for example, we have Super League, we have National League, and then we have Premier League. It will go down to be the same way it was a few years back, where a team wins the National League and they don't see the need for going to the Premier League. Yeah, they don't see the need for promotion because there is no incentive, Njugush. Where is the incentive of playing the league?
Okay,
Yeah.
Juma, what do you have to say about it?
Yes. Now, on the quality of players, of course, quality is relative. But as Chinua Achebe says that in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. So we could be looking at quality in terms of from history. Look at the years when we were playing in the Olympics. Look at the years when we were playing those international tournaments.
Yeah.
What quality did we have then? What has changed? The one time the KHU president said that hockey went with the Asians.
Yeah.
I still have that clip. It was on KTN that hockey went with the Asians. So is it that maybe we need to do a fresh recruitment of some Asians to come and bring our hockey to the level that we want? Is what were the structures then? What has changed from those years in the 70s, in the 80s, up to the late 90s to this generation? When you talk to those older generation of players, they will tell you that the player of today is not as passionate as they were. So I don't know, maybe we need to create a passionometer and measure how passionate players compare.
Let me tell you, that passion is there. Every week I receive an inbox of not less than 3 or 4 players who want to join clubs, and not just in Nairobi, all over the country. Because, and this is another thing that the union needs to do, is to invest in the grassroots. I don't know how many. Western, I think, is the only club which has like 2 teams right now. I don't think there's any other county that has more than. Mombasa has how many? Has
Mombasa
4.
Has 4.
Yeah, it has.
But one it's like it's either dormant or disbanded.
Yeah. So yes, because I saw a conversation around that. So we I think it's a challenge to the union to look into this, but maybe as our closing talks, and Juma can take a few minutes on this. How can we then, as us as bloggers, as Magongo, as HockeyKE, and as Hockey Kenya, do to do our role? Because to be quite honest, you reach a point you get tired, but we need to do this for the love of the game. Maybe Juma, what are some of the things that we need to do to make sure that this sports flourishes?
Thank you, George. So one is we need to tell a positive story about this sport. That is number one. You know, it is very unfortunate that hockey players are still the fans. You don't get any new faces at City Park. We need to tell a very nice story about the sport. One that is not interested in hockey, does not know rules, knows nothing about the sport, will actually come and watch a hockey match. That is number one. Number two, structures. Look at systems in Netherlands, for example. Look at what Australia are doing with their hockey. Look at other these countries that have been, we can call them frontiers. They have just come up recently. They're beginning to do this thing from club level, have structures for development at club level. Then the union also needs to give us their best, because they have tried. When you look at all angles this season, you see in terms of umpiring, you have more umpires. Quality has improved, though you look at it, some people are still complaining that it's still bad, but from my opinion, it has really
Simon is complaining very bitterly.
Yes.
Let's not go into that now. that's another huge discussion.
From where I sit, I think it has really improved. And now, number 3 is the union needs to give us the best in terms of transparency. Players, clubs are giving the union money in terms of registration, in terms of player transfer fees. We need to know, just from an accounting perspective or from a transparency perspective, tell us this season we received this amount of money from players in terms of subscriptions, in terms of all those. This is our revenue. This is our revenue streams. Maybe hiring out the field to teams that train there. We have a parking. All those revenue streams. Say from our revenue streams, this is what we got. Then give us a breakdown of expenses. That from this revenue that we got in the financial year 2018, 2019, this is how we have spent the money. We have paid umpires this. We have done maintenance for the pitch on this. We have maybe done those grassroots hockey development, maybe going to attend those tournaments, maybe in Mombasa, in Nakuru on this match. That is the beginning, so that even if a sponsor wants to come in, you have a record that you tell them, this is how we've been spending our 1 million. Now we're asking you to give us 10 million. We will be accountable for the 10 million. That's my take home. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, Simon.
I've even forgotten what the question was.
What can we do as bloggers? HockeyKE. Yes.
I think what we can do, we can bring awareness to the clubs, because all of us right now, we know the power of social media, we know the power of blogging, we know the power of an online presence. We need to raise awareness. I've been talking to a couple of guys from clubs. I think one guy approached me and told me that he needed advice on what to do to market his club. Gave him advice, and I can see nowadays at least he posts something on Instagram, which is good. Another thing we need to do is the guy who's hired or who was elected to do communication at KHU. Boy, you need to wake up, man. You need to wake up.
You should be shot in the head.
You need to wake up because
in the head.
Police will come for you. Be very careful.
Yeah. You need to wake up because
if you survive, you should be shot again.
Because let's be honest, guys. Rarely do we get anything from KHU. Rarely. In terms of official communication, press releases, fixture changes, most of the time you find that, like ourselves, because we host most of the statistics, a club tells you, no, we don't have a fixture today. The fixture was moved to another date, you see. So if we can have that streamlined, that collaborative effort between ourselves, we always do it, the three of us, and also KHU to come in. We are, of course, the three of us, we're also in competition as well. But you see, there is that common ground that we want to promote hockey in this nation. So I'd also like to urge the clubs, take advantage of us. Give us communication. For example, tell us you've signed a certain player. At least at RCC, we want to have those news, that breaking news. Let's say Sailors have signed Juma. Yeah, like Juma signed for Sailors and we did not know, you see. So if we can have such news being shared between clubs, between us. Also, something else we need to do, I think, and I agreed with you, Njuguna, is we need to find a way to find consistency. For example, the last 2 months, I think we've only had 2 weekends or 3 weekends where we've had league matches. Too many breaks. Too many breaks. Like Right now we are on is it a 2 weekend break?
Mm.
We also
2
on
weekends.
another 2 weekends break.
Coming from another, I think it's only a week or two that you've played matches.
Yes, actually it's 1 weekend we played. Then we had another break. Yes, we understand you are giving time and space for the national team to do their preparation. But the consistency I'm talking about is in terms of fixtures. For example, my team, I remember there is a time we played 18 matches in 21 days. No, sorry, 11 matches in 18 days. That's insane. That's insane. And then now, the last game we played was last month, and now the next fixture we'll play is in July next month. You see, you have one team playing two games in 1 weekend, and then you have one team playing one game in 2 months. So it's also difficult for us to prepare and to hype up a game. For example, the other day we had a lot of derbies that weekend that was played, but because of those gaps, we were left at little. Yeah. So it's what we can do for them, what we can do for the clubs, that is for KHU, is we can use our online media presence to hype up the game. I'm sure all our pages have over 3,000 followers. That's a huge number. That's a huge number we get to reach at. So if we can also help KHU as well. If I don't know his name, I need to know his name. If that guy is unable to handle the page, then he can give to one of us. all of us we manage for him. They can also
I
use
meant
that.
to understand a contract was made to another company
Yeah.
to manage it. So I don't know what has transpired there. So, but I mean that's a story for another day. This is what me I'm suggesting the three of us to do.
Yeah.
Juma, I want us to plan a schedule of clubs and players. We take a look at all the captains. I'm willing to sit down and interview them, and then we use all our platforms to just tell the story of hockey. Let us begin with the captains. Let captains tell us their stories, how they have been there, how things have been, and then Simon, you get for us statistics of those clubs. So I think that's a good start for us, and I am willing to help and carry that, so that we don't just talk about things but we don't act. For me, that is what I would challenge us to sit and do.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah, and
Good.
I think I agree with Juma. We need to change the story of hockey. I've always come out to defend KHU even online when I see guys even commenting on my posts, bashing them. Everyone is at fault. Even HockeyKE is at fault. Everyone makes mistakes, but we cannot dwell on mistakes. So what I'd like to urge guys is let's now start looking at the positives. For example, this season the fixtures haven't changed much, which is a very good thing. At least you know
very
the
good
fixtures
improvement.
Yeah, that's a very good improvement. No one is saying that. Guys are also not saying that at least right now the national team have had a lot of time to prepare for the qualifiers. People are still talking about the call-ups, the training. Wachana na hizo negatives. So with the negatives, look at the amount of time they've had to prepare. Let's support them. Let's support them. Another positive we need to look at is look at the work that we are doing online. Magongo is doing good jobs with the photography and videos. Hockey Kenya is doing well with the blogs. I know Njugush, you've been a bit busy. We are also doing our part, providing as much statistics as we can. So let's look at those positives. Let's look at those positives. Let's come out, hype the games. For example, I keep telling guys that pale mtaani, if you get a friend who's idle and there's a match being played at City Park, pull him in, pull her in. Tell them there's a big match being played. Even start talking about hockey. You know, most hockey players, even at work, only discuss football. You can't find someone saying that, hey, there was a very big match between Butali and Police, and probably Butali won. And then now you'll find guys starting that interest. Who's Butali? Who's Police? How many titles have
Mm.
Police won? How many titles have Butali won? When you start having discussions about hockey at our homes, at our workplaces, you start pulling family in. Like the other day, I was talking to one of the KHU officials and I told them that we need to have a family day at City Park where guys come with their families. Yeah, we just have hockey fun, and a good one would have been the Olympic
Olympic Day,
celebration,
yeah.
Olympic Day
Mm.
that passed last week. And that was one of the best opportunities to do it. Yeah, so we have a lot we need to do, but I I, I need to ask everyone to do their part. Let everyone do their part. The fans do their part, the players do their part, the clubs do their part, because even the clubs themselves, some of them are in shambles, and that's why you find that they can't attract sponsors. Yeah, so
True.
I know this video was supposed to be a reaction of Telkom's withdrawal, but it's good we've discussed all these things because it's a sad state. This season, two clubs pulled out of the league, that is Kabarak and Kimathi. Last season, I think Mombasa West and another
Mombasa
club,
West, yes.
I think it was Desta Ladies, Desta Women, pulled out last season. And I've been putting my ear to the ground, and I've had more clubs are considering pulling out next season based
Yes.
on financial constrictions. So it's a sad state of hockey in the country, and we really need to do something. Otherwise, hockey will be. I don't want to use the word dead, but we are approaching there because we all know there are also those rumors about Butali. There is that rumor that they want to pull out. So that something needs to be done as soon as possible.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Mhm.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Simon,
you.
for getting us together.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys. I'm always happy to work with you guys. So, in case you didn't hear, we've added player statistics onto our platform. So, guys, make sure you go to HockeyKE.com to check it out. So, very soon, Juma, you'll be getting those statistics about the most carded player. I hope it won't be you.
It's not better.
Yeah. So at least we
I
have
don't
some.
get any cards.
You don't get any cards. Yeah, so that at least
In fact, since I started playing hockey 64 years ago, I've only received one green card.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. Thank you for taking time to make this video. So, guys, make sure you follow, you like, do everything on Magongo. It's Magongo Kenya on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, right? Yeah, and then we have Hockey Kenya also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Where else? YouTube. Also, make sure you don't have a YouTube page. Come on.
Yes, I do. I do have a YouTube page.
Then why are you saying no? You
Which
don't have.
I need to activate. I haven't posted in a long time.
Yeah. So also make sure you follow us, HockeyKE on Facebook, Instagram. Also follow these guys, Juma on Facebook. He always has very nice posts. You know a lot of English, man. Also, you make sure you follow George Juguna, yeah, and he has a radio station called Bloom, Bloom Radio. It's online.
Bloom
So
Radio KE.
Bloom Radio KE. Yeah, make sure you.
Bloomradio.co.ke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so cheers, guys. Bye bye.